Bharatam Mahabharatam Dharma Adharma Sangharshanam Vakshi Prani Manava Cha Deva Dharma Adharma Panchalika Jnana Prabhasita Divya Jivam Sarve Sarva Maha Amritam Sarve Sarva Maha Amritam Bharatam.
Krishna Dvaipayana, the great sage, who was also known as Vyasa, as the compiler of Vedas. Though the Vedas are considered to be over 100,000 years old, and it remained an oral tradition that people from generation to generation transmitted it through oral traditions by telling it to each other. These are generations of people who understood the significance of sound, so they refused to write down the impact and significance of sound. Because of all the things that we use, the subtlest form of physicality is sound. Everything else that you use is electromagnetic, including what happens in your brain. So they did not attach too much importance to the thought, to the emotion, to whatever else happens. But sound was considered significant because it is the subtlest form of physicality and it could be used with immense and devastating impact. So, they maintained oral traditions, never written down. But then once it happened, the rich Gangetic plain was struck by a famine which lasted for over 14 years. They say for 14 years and not a drop of rain came, crops dried up. The civilizations of the day wilted away. People forgot to say the Vedas because they were picking up berries and nuts to eat. They completely forgot their traditions. So when once again the rains came and Vyasa saw the loss that had happened to that civilization because they had lost the Vedas, he thought it is best that it is written down, so he compiled it. People say he could only remember and compile, he could only gather only about 8% of the Vedas. This 8% was classified into 4 segments of Veda called the Rig Veda, Atharvana Veda, Sama Veda and Yajur Veda. I am saying in that order because that is not the order that people use today, but traditionally that's the order. So this 8% became 4 Vedas. Even today, these 4 Vedas are considered to be among the greatest documents that humanity has ever compiled or prepared. But it was only 8% of what was said and what he could remember, he put it together. So the next time, he wanted to compile a great story, an eternal story, which could be relevant to people forever and ever. He did not want to take chances. He spoke to 2 people. One is Vaishampayana, his disciple, who heard in awe. But you know, disciples can distort. I know. So he hired a god, that's why we got him here today, just in case you get it wrong. And the deal was he has to write down, because Vyasa wouldn't trust the human memory anymore, because This method of transmitting through human memory was in the Satyuga, when people were of a certain mental caliber. As this caliber came down towards Kali, we're going up right now, okay? As it started receding, Vyasa thought it is best, it is written down. You cannot trust human memory anymore and they will distort. So there was one person writing down, another person listening. But unfortunately, the written document was so attractive, it was such a grand piece of literature, the gods came and stole it and they took it away. So, the way we know Mahabharata is only to the extent Vaishampayana remembered, not the way Ganapati wrote down. So still, it is these 100,000 verses that we are talking about are still only a fragment of what he spoke. Out of those 100,000, I will speak less than 8%. So, you need to be absolutely involved, not looking at it like a piece of his story as your story, being a part of it, because we want to walk through the story, not hear somebody else's story. And these were times when the transaction between the planet Earth and other forms of life was very frequent. So there are various aspects to this, which you will find is simply unbelievable for you. But you should not disbelieve anything. Because we are 21st century, we value dissections more than an embrace, we will turn back and dissect later. Right now, I want you to be an embrace with this story and with these people and with these characters, with the human beings, animal forms, yakshas, kinnaras, ganas, devas, gods, goddesses, all kinds. I want you to be in an embrace, not in a state of dissection. You'll miss the whole spirit of what it is.